Hello from Seoul. Do you like tteokbokki? How about ramen? Tteokbokki? Good. Ramen? Nice. Then, what if I combine those two? It sounds like a tasty wonderland, doesn't it? Alright, are you guys ready? Let me take you there. Today, we are making tteokbokki, one of the most popular Korean street foods. As you can guess from the name of the dish, it is literally ramen plus tteokbokki. Yes, it is so delicious and super addictive. And it's not hard to make, but as always, I'm gonna show you two versions, the classic one and a super simple version. So buckle up! For the first one, you will need ramen, cabbage, onion, green onion, fish cake, and rice cake. You can get this kind of rice cake, then make it with this rice paper. Don't know how to make it? Don't worry about it. I'll put the video in the card up there so you can check it out. You're welcome. First, let's talk about ramen. You can actually use any spicy Korean ramen, but from my experience, this Jinramen gives you the best results. Jinramen, did you hear it? Call me. And if you don't mind, could you please close your ears for a sec? Guys, it tastes absolutely delicious with this, but if you don't have this, just use what you have and don't spend any money on this. It should be alright. But it has to be normal Korean ramen with spicy soup. So if you use seafood flavor or the one with no soup and get something weird, I'm not responsible. Alright, let's prep the vegetables. First, chop some green onion into bite-sized pieces. Honestly, for tteokbokki, we don't need other ingredients as long as you have lots of green onion. Yeah, it's that important. So please be super generous with this. Next, depending on the size of your onion, slice half or a quarter of an onion into thin strips. And then cut some cabbage into bite-sized pieces. Again, these guys are not essential ingredients, but they're really gonna add a nice texture to it. So if you have them in your pantry or fridge, I highly recommend using them. And then take 2 fish cakes and cut them into bite-sized pieces. The fish cake adds a nice depth of flavor, but if you add too much, it absorbs all the sauce, and eventually, your tteokbokki will be dry, like a desert. So even if it's so delicious, don't add too much. It's not green onion. Now, let's make the sauce. Put 2 tablespoons of Korean chili pepper flakes, 2.5 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of Korean chili paste, 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, a half tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 tablespoon of mirin, a half tablespoon of dashida, Korean beef stock powder, a half tablespoon of chicken powder or chicken stock, a few shakes of black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of ramen powder. Here, you may say, what, ramen powder? Yes, you heard it right. This seasoning powder is a key ingredient. Trust me, if you skip this, you'll never ever get that restaurant taste. For information, if you can keep this in the fridge overnight, it will taste even better. That's the restaurant secret. But I think nobody wants to put so much time and effort into this one street food. So let me just start it. First, put 200 grams of rice cakes into a wok and add half of the fish cakes, half of the green onions, 3 cups of water, and the sauce we made. Stir this around and bring it to a boil over medium-high heat. Here, some of you might ask, Aaron, why did you add only half of the fish cakes and half of the green onions? I'm so glad you brought that up. Long story short, it's kind of a trick to deepen the flavor. Since we added ramen powder, we already know it's fantastic. But this kind of little action will bring this to the next level. So don't forget to try this tip. Alright, once it starts to boil, grab a spoon and taste it. I know it's impossible, but if it's under-seasoned, add some salt or soy sauce. You want it to be a little spicier? Then you might want to add some gochujang. But if you add it, it gets too thick and you're not gonna like it. So instead of gochujang, I recommend adding some Korean chili pepper flakes or fresh chilies. Now let's add the fish cakes, vegetables, ramen, a boiled egg, and let it continue to boil for about 4 minutes. Why is it 4 minutes? Because it says so. But depending on the brand, it might be a little different. So make sure to follow the package instructions. People who wrote this are experts. I respect your taste, but that's the best. Let's transfer it to a serving plate and finish it off with some green onions. That's it. It's incredibly easy, right? Alright, let's call our taste tester. Claire?
Woo! tteokbokki! 이게 얼마만이야? I'm super excited. It looks good and smells awesome. Let's dig in. tteokbokki는 떡보다는 무조건 라면부터 먹어야 돼. 안 그러면 국물이 다 사라질지도 몰라. 맛있다. This time I wanna try duck rice cake. 너무 잘했는데? 매콤하면서도 달콤해야 되는데 딱이야. 완벽해. 딱 맛있어. 이 매운맛은 진짜 애들도 좋아할 만한 그런 중독적인 맛이야. 오늘 뭔가 평상 때보다 좀 더 맛있게 느껴지는데 그럼 왠지 자기가 삐를 찍는다고 시간이 좀 걸려가지고 얘네들이 소스를 턱 쫙쫙 빨아당긴 것 같아. 떡이랑 면에 그 소스가 제대로 배었어. 완전 맛있어. 여기 국물도 많아가지고 이것저것 뭐 좀 찍어서 먹으면 진짜 맛있겠다. For your information, this dish is perfect to go with fried dumplings. You dip it in the sauce and have it. It just tastes like heaven. Aaron, where's my mandu? Bring some mandu!
It's impossible to get rice cake and other stuff, or if you're the only person in the house so you don't want to put lots of time and effort, for those of you, I brought this super simple tteokbokki. For this, you will need ramyeon. Yeah, only ramyeon. What? You want some green onion? Okay, if that's what you want, let's bring this bad boy over here. But if you happen to have any ingredients that I used earlier, feel free to use it. They'll be more delicious. First, let's chop some green onion. If you want it to look like something with lots of vegetables, you should chop it into long strips. Otherwise, everybody will say it's just ramen. This time, let's make the sauce. Put 1 tablespoon of Korean chili paste, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of ramen powder. Here, you can add more or less, depending on your taste. But don't you ever add like 5 tablespoons of seasoning powder. If you do, I'm pretty sure your mom will knock on the door and ask, "Why are you crying in the bathroom?" I warned you. If it happens, I'm not responsible. Now, let's get to cooking. Add 1.5 cups of water along with the sauce, and then place it over medium-high heat. Here, some of you might say, "Aaron, why did you make the sauce in a bowl? You could have just added all of them into the wok." Yeah, you're right, but that's okay. Claire's gonna do the dishes anyhow, so don't worry about it. Once it starts to boil, add in the dried vegetables, ramen, green onion, and just leave it for another 4 minutes. For information, if you only have cup ramen and you're not sure if that works, don't worry about it. It will definitely work. But just so you know, it usually takes less time to cook, so you need to boil a little shorter than a pack of ramen. When the sauce reduces down a little bit and the noodles are perfectly cooked, turn off the heat and transfer it to a serving plate. And if you want to make it pretty, add some sliced cheese on it. It's gonna neutralize the spiciness and the flavor just work together so well. Lastly, sprinkle some green onions and sesame seeds on top. That's it. So easy, right? Alright, let's go to our taste tester. Claire.
위에 치즈 녹은 게 너무 맛있어 보인다. 먹어보겠어. 꾸덕꾸덕하니 맛있어 보이네. Let me try it. 맛있어. 전혀 손색 없다. 라면만 그냥 먹었을 때는 그냥 똑같은데? 고추장이 탁 들어가가지고 되게 풍미가 가득한 맛있는 맛이에요. 거기다 그러니까 대파, 생 대파가 중간중간 쑥쑥 들어가 있는 게 입안에서 향이 확 퍼지면서 너무 좋은데? 바로 연이어서 먹었잖아. 진짜 면만 봤었을 땐 전혀 손색이 없는데? 거의 소스가 똑같은 것 같아. This time I want to try with cheese. I want the whole thing. Ready? 이 맛이지. If you want to try tteokbokki but you don't want to spend lots of time, then this is it. You're gonna love it so much.
You may think kimchi fried rice is the thing only restaurants can make, but you know what? It's way easier than you think, so you can do it. And if you do, you may taste the best kimchi fried rice that you ever had. Alright, let's get started. First of all, let's make the classic kimchi fried rice. You will need a bowl of rice, kimchi, green onion, and bacon. If bacon is not your thing, you can use chicken, beef, or different types of pork instead. Also, spam or canned tuna can be a good substitute, so just use what you have in your kitchen. Anything will turn out fantastic. This time, let's talk about rice. Just like any fried rice, the most important thing is, of course, the rice. Since freshly cooked rice has a lot of moisture, it can get soggy and mushy quite easily. So it's better to use day-old rice. It's a little dry, so you can coat every single grain of the rice deliciously. You don't have day-old rice? Don't worry about it. Just spread it out on a plate and let it cool while prepping other ingredients. Still gonna be good. No problem at all. Now, let's cut some bacon into bite-sized pieces. I recommend cutting it into small bite-sized pieces because that way you can have bacon in every bite, and that is gonna make a huge difference. Now, let's move on to the green onion. For fried rice, it's essential. And as you guys know, it's always like more green onion, more delicious, so be super generous with this. This time, kimchi. I've got well-fermented kimchi, which is a bit sour, and this is what makes the best kimchi fried rice. You just bought kimchi, so it's not sour enough? Don't worry about it. Then add a little bit of vinegar to your kimchi, like 1 teaspoon will be enough. Put 100 grams of kimchi in a mixing bowl and cut it with scissors. Here, some of you might wonder why I don't use a knife. That's because if you cut your kimchi on a cutting board, your mom will hunt you down and kick your Why? Because you ruined their precious cutting board with kimchi stains. You already did it? Sorry about that. There's nothing much I can do about it. I'll see you in another life. Now let's get seasoning on our kimchi. Put a half tablespoon of Korean chili pepper flakes, a half tablespoon of soy sauce, a half tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and mix it all together. Since you put all the seasonings here, you don't have to run in the kitchen anymore while stir frying. From now, you can cook it gracefully like a pro. You're welcome. Here, if you want to get that restaurant taste, add a half teaspoon of MSG. Then you may think you should open a restaurant or something. You will. Alright, let's get to cooking. Put 1 tablespoon of oil, green onions, bacon, and place it over medium heat. Once you can smell the amazing aroma, put kimchi and give it a good stir. All the good flavors from green onions and bacon will make it more flavorful. If your kimchi is too dry, so it's about to burn, then add 1 or 2 tablespoons of water. I know some of you might say, what? Water? Are you crazy or something? But trust me, it will prevent your food from burning. And that's gonna evaporate eventually, so don't worry about it. Now let's add some rice. Here, you may wanna show me your amazing wok skills, but for kimchi fried rice, you don't have to do that. Just mix it well with a spatula, that's enough. However, if someone is watching you and you wanna look super cool, then change the heat to high heat and give it a toss. Then your friend will think you're a Korean master chef or something. Once you're done with the rice, add 1 teaspoon of sesame oil and give it a good mix. After that, transfer it to a serving plate and finish it off with a fried egg, Korean seasoned seaweed, green onions, and sesame seeds. How does it look? It looks fabulous, right? Alright, let's go to our taste tester. Claire.
Oh my goodness, it smells incredible. 배고파. 냄새 맡으니까 진짜 배고파진다. Ready? 맛있다. 잘했다. 그 김치의 아삭함과 새콤함, 그리고 베이컨의 그 짭조름함 같이 만나니까 그냥 뭐 말이 필요 없는 것 같아요. 너무 맛있어. 그냥 짜지도 않고 간이 완벽하고 너무 맛있어. 꼬투리를 좀 잡아봐야 되는데 맛있다. This time I'm gonna try with the seaweed. 김을 좀 여기다 올려. 이게 그냥 단순한 데코가 아니라고. 맛있어. 내가 김치볶음밥을 정말 많이 먹어봤는데 이게 있어야 확실히 그 식당에서 먹는 그 느낌이 나는 것 같아. 항상 그 마무리로 항상 김을 뿌려주시잖아. 그 느낌이 제대로 나네. 그리고 내가 제일 좋아하는 거 노른자. 노른자가 없으면 안 되지. Oh my goodness. Look at this lovely egg yolk. 설명이 필요 없다. 이게 제일 나한테는 베스트 토핑인 건 맞다. 김치랑 노른자의 궁합은 진짜 어마무시한 것 같아. 너무 잘 어울려. 딱 한 가지 훔쳐먹고 있다. 나 치즈 좋아하잖아. 치즈도 필요해. Need some cheese.
This time, let me show you very special kimchi fried rice. The volcano kimchi fried rice. If you need something to show off, this is it. You will need a bowl of rice, kimchi, egg, shredded cheese, and pork. Since we normally have this at Korean barbecue restaurants, I would recommend using pork belly. Put 120 grams of kimchi in a mixing bowl and cut it with scissors. But this time, I'm not gonna add any seasonings to make it simpler. But if you wanna make it extra special, please add the seasonings just like the first one. And now, chop some green onions and beat some eggs. About 2 or 3 would be enough. Alright, let's get to cooking. Turn on the heat to medium heat and add in the pork. Once you've got good color on both sides, remove it from the pan and cut it into bite-sized pieces. If you cut it in the pan, a lot of juice inside will come out and make the oil splash all over the stove, which means your mom will, you know. In the same pan, add in some green onions and make green onion oil. Once it starts to get fragrant, add some kimchi and stir fry for about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, add some rice, pork, and keep stirring it. Now take out your gochujang, Korean chili paste, and add 1 tablespoon of it. If you use gochujang for kimchi fried rice, you don't need many seasonings, but if you want that amazing restaurant quality kimchi fried rice, not the simple version, add the seasonings just like the first one. And lastly, add 1 teaspoon of sesame oil and give it a good mix. You think it's done here, right? But not yet. Here comes the highlight, so stay focused. Let's place all the fried rice in the middle and shape it into a mountain. Or you can just transfer it to a bowl and then flip it onto the pan. I guess that might be more pretty. Now grab a spoon and indent the top a little and make a pathway for the magma. After that, all you need to do is just pour the eggs on top. How does it look? It looks amazing, right? I think you can propose to your boyfriend or girlfriend with this. Did I go too far? Sorry about that. Lastly, add some cheese all over the eggs. Cover with the lid and let it cook for another 1 or 2 minutes. Then here's your volcano kimchi fried rice. Alright, let's see how it tastes.
Claire.
오, 대박. 비주얼 대박인데. 아, 근데 자기가 맨날 말한 것처럼 그 초록색이 음식을 고급지게 하는데 그린 어니언 어디 갔어? 그걸 좀 뿌려줬어야 됐는데. Let's go to the belly first. 오. Oh my goodness. 역시 김치볶음밥이랑 치즈랑 궁합이 진짜 너무 잘 어울린다. 내가 좋아하는 거 다 들어있잖아. 이건 맛있을 수밖에 없다. 너무 맛있다. 계란이 두꺼워가지고 김치볶음밥에다가 엄청 풍신풍신한 계란말이 싹 올려 먹는 그런 맛이야. 너무 맛있어. 내가 먹으면 먹을수록 망가지는 느낌이어가지고 좀 그렇다.
You don't have rice and no rice cooker at home? For those of you, I brought this. Kimchi fried noodles. You're welcome. The ingredients are pretty much the same as the first recipe, but this time, I'm gonna use ground pork, not bacon. And then for the noodles, I'm gonna use udon noodles today, but you could also use other types of noodles, so don't worry about it. As always, let's chop some green onion. After that, put 100 grams of kimchi in a mixing bowl and cut it into bite-sized pieces. Now move on to the sauce. Let's add a half tablespoon of Korean chili pepper flakes, a half tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of oyster sauce, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 3 tablespoons of water, and mix it. Now take out a wok or pan and put 1 tablespoon of oil. When the pan is nice and hot, add 100 grams of ground pork and green onions. Once it looks something like this, add some black pepper, kimchi, and let that cook for about 2 minutes. Now let's put the sauce and give it a quick stir. Normally, we're supposed to cook these noodles in boiling water and then add it to the pan. But to make it simple, I'm just gonna put this directly into the pan. I know some of you might say, Aaron, they're not gonna be well separated. Yes, you're right. It's not gonna be easy. So add 3 tablespoons of water and put a lid on. Then the juice from the pork and the water will cook it eventually. So there's nothing to worry about. After 2 to 3 minutes, open it. Then you will see nicely cooked noodles by the steam. Sometimes, people are afraid of adding water when cooking, but don't worry about it. If there's too much water, you can just boil it a little longer and let that evaporate. There's nothing complicated, so don't take it too seriously. Alright, let's transfer it to a serving plate and finish it off with a fried egg, some green onions, and sesame seeds. Alright, it's done. Let's call Claire.
Claire.
거봐. 대파를 넣으니까 달라졌잖아. 완전히 음식이 달라졌네. 내 말이 들어야지. 면이 무슨 움직이는 게 살아있는 것 같아. 탱글탱글. 돼지고기 들어가고 우동 들어가고 김치 들어갔다 이거지. 맛있는 거 다 들어갔네. 오케이. Let's see. 맛있다. 약간 진한 김치찌개에다가 우동사리를 막 비벼놓은 그런 맛이야. 엄청 깊다. Guys, even if you are not a big fan of kimchi, please try these out. When kimchi is fried, it's a totally different story. You will fall in love with kimchi.
Do you think making pancake is difficult? No, not at all, right? Then what about kimchi pancake? Because of the word kimchi, you might think it's something only restaurants can make. But don't worry about it. If you follow my lead, you may taste the best kimchi pancake that you ever had. Alright, are you guys ready? Let's get started. Today, we are making kimchijeon, the iconic Korean pancake. It may sound difficult to make, but it's actually super easy. So it can be your side dish, late night snack, or even your main dish. The taste? If someone asks me like, what's your favorite kimchi dish? Then I'll definitely say this is it. Then what do you need for kimchi pancake? Yes, that's right, we need kimchi, but it has to be well fermented kimchi, which is a bit sour. At this point, some of you might think, Aaron, I just bought some kimchi, so it's not sour enough. What should I do? Don't worry about it. Just add some vinegar into your kimchi pancake batter, like 1 teaspoon, it'll be perfect. And we need this Korean pancake mix. As its name suggests, it's a flour mixture with lots of spices, which means with this bad boy, you can get perfect Korean pancakes. Then some of you might say, Aaron, I can't get that either. There's no Korean grocery store near my place. Guys, don't worry about it. For those of you, I'll show you the recipe with this regular flour in a few minutes. You're welcome. First of all, let's make a super simple version. For this, you will need only 2 ingredients. Yes, only 2 ingredients. Korean pancake mix and kimchi. But if I use only those 2, this channel might lose its identity. So let me use this almighty green onion. Also, if you're a big fan of spicy food, so want some extra kick, I suggest adding a little bit of chili pepper here. First, cut some green onions and chili peppers into small pieces. Compared to other pancakes, I don't say this is pretty because it's not that colorful. But when these guys go in, they will make it look a lot better. And not only that, it will be more delicious. Seriously, I can't do anything without this bad boy. It always makes everything better. Put 2 cups or 350 grams of kimchi in a mixing bowl and cut it with scissors. Do you know what's gonna happen if you cut this kimchi on a cutting board? That's right, your mom will hunt you down and kick your Why? Because you ruined her precious cutting board with the kimchi stains. So if you don't have another cutting board only for kimchi, don't you ever try it. What? You did it already? Rest in peace, my friend. Next, add in the green onions, chili peppers, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 3 tablespoons of kimchi juice, 2 tablespoons of Korean chili pepper flakes, and give it a good mix. Once it's all combined, add 2 cups or 320 grams of Korean pancake mix into the mixing bowl. As I said earlier, this Korean pancake mix is seasoned with lots of spices, which means it's already delicious. But as always, if you want that restaurant taste, add 1 teaspoon of dashida, Korean beef stock powder, or a little bit of this bad boy. Then people will say you should open a restaurant. Seriously, they will. Now add 1 cup of cold water and mix it around. Here, make sure to use cold water because we don't want too much gluten development here. Also, for the same reason, please be gentle and do not overstir this. At this point, some people might ask, Aaron, the batter looks too runny. Is that okay? Yeah, everything's fine. This is what we're looking for, so don't worry about it. If it's thicker than this, you can't get any crispiness from your pancake. You know what? Kimchi pancake is all about the crispiness. That's the key. Alright, we're all set. Let's get cooking. Put 2 tablespoons of cooking oil into a non-stick pan and place it over medium heat. At this point, you're probably thinking, wow, it's a lot of oil. But to make it more delicious, you need a good amount of oil. And this is the reason why it tastes always better at traditional markets. They almost like deep fry this, so be generous with it. Once the pan is nice and hot, take 2 or 3 ladles and spread it out. Now it's very important, so stay focused. Once you see the edges starts cook, gently shake your pan like this, so that the oil from the outside can go into the center. And this will make your pancake nice and crispy. When the bottom turns beautiful golden brown, flip it over. But if there's a lot of oil left, just use your spatula. Do not try this, even if it looks super cool. Otherwise, you may see yourself swearing at me in the emergency room. I don't want that situation. Alright, once you've got good color on both sides, transfer it to a serving plate and let's go to our taste tester. Claire?
김치전! favorite pancake. I love it so much. 냄새 미쳤다. 와. 오, 그리고 김치전이 엄청 큰 것이 되게 먹음직스러워 보이네. 와우. 난 소심해서 원래 이렇게 크게 잘 못 붙이는데. Look at the edges. And I love a little bit of char on it. Oh my gosh. It looks heavenly. Let me try. 맛있어. It's quite simple, but it has so much flavor. Like you get a little bit of tang and spicy from the kimchi. It's very savory. Absolutely delicious. 그리고 식감. 겉에 가장자리가 엄청 바삭바삭하고 속에는 약간 부드러운 것이 딱 완벽하게 조리가 됐네. 그리고 김치. 진짜 아낌없이 넣어야 되는 게 맞는 것 같아. 거기서 씹을 때마다 그 아삭아삭함이 진짜 신의 한 수야. 꼭 아낌없이 넣어야 돼. 너무 맛있어. 잘했네. 난 항상 프로틴이 들어간 김치전만 먹어봐가지고 자기가 여기다 프로틴이 안 들어갔다고 하길래 좀 뭔가 부족한 거 아닌가? 그렇게 생각을 했는데 김치 자체가 맛있으니까 맛이 나오네. 솔직히 좀 놀랬어.
This time, let's make it with regular flour. You think it's difficult or complicated? Don't worry about it. As always, with me, you'll be fine. For this, you will need well-fermented kimchi, all-purpose flour, green onion, chili pepper, and ground pork. For the first one, I didn't use any proteins because I wanted to make it as simple as possible. But this time, let me add some pork here. The combination of pork and kimchi will be incredible. You don't like pork? Don't worry about it. You can try it with some seafood, such as squid or shrimp. Both of them will be fantastic. First of all, let's chop some green onion and chili pepper into small pieces. And then take out some kimchi and cut it with scissors. You still want to cut this on a cutting board because it looks way cooler? No, you're wrong. It's just making more dishes to wash. So if you don't have a good dishwasher, which is called Claire, just use scissors. Now, in a mixing bowl, add 2 cups of kimchi, vegetables, 200 grams of ground pork, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 3 tablespoons of kimchi juice, 2 tablespoons of Korean chili pepper flakes, and give that a good mix. Here, you need to break down the pork to make sure it doesn't clump. I told you, so if you taste undercooked pork, I'm not responsible. Once you've done that, add in 2 cups or 320 grams of all-purpose flour. Unlike the Korean pancake mix, this AP flour is not seasoned, so I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of dashida, Korean beef stock powder. You don't have this? Don't worry about it, just use chicken stock. Then you will see yourself writing a comment like, "Thank you, you're welcome again." Now keep adding 2 cups of cold water and mix it around. And just like the first one, make sure not to overstir and overmix your pancake batter. That's it. Alright, everything is ready. All you need to do is just cook it. Put a good amount of oil in a pan, pour some batter, and spread it out. For information, when you cook this, make sure to use neutral tasting oil. It shouldn't have a strong flavor. So if you use something like extra virgin olive oil and it tastes weird, don't blame me. I'm not responsible. Alright, it's done. Transfer it to a serving plate and let's call our taste tester.
Claire?
뭐야, 이거 데자뷰야? It looks exactly the same! 역시 김치전은 김치의 색깔이 워낙 세다 보니까 뭘 해도 똑같아 보이는구나? 맛에 좀 더 집중해서 먹어봐야겠네. Like a pizza. 겉이 골고루 바삭해 보이네. Again, let me try it. 오, 여기 엄청 바삭하다, 확실히. 돼지고기에서 나오는 그 감칠맛이 훨씬 맛있게 해주는 것 같아. 맛있네. I like it. 맛있어, 맛있어. 솔직히 부침가루로 했던 거랑 밀가루로 한 거랑 크게 맛에 있어서 차이가 없는 것 같아. 그래서 요 레시피라면 부침가루 없어도 딱히 걱정 안 해도 될 것 같아. 맛있게 잘했네. But this kimchi전 is meant to be paired up with makgeolli, Korean rice wine. But Aaron didn't get one. So I blame him. Where's my makgeolli?
Today, we are making 부대찌개, Korean army stew. And as always, I'm gonna show you two versions, the authentic one and a super simple version. Although I'm gonna share a super simple version, the authentic one is not hard or time consuming. So unless you're in a hurry to save the planet like a superhero, I strongly recommend the authentic one because it's too delicious. For this, you will need spam, sausage, bacon, ground beef, baked beans, American cheese, cabbage, potato, and green onion. As you can guess from the name of the dish, the ingredients mostly came from US military base. So there's no such thing as a traditional or original recipe. So just use whatever you have in your fridge. Like if you have leftover ham from Thanksgiving, go ahead and use that. Honestly, I've never tried it, but my friend said that's awesome. Thanks, Patrick. First, let's make the seasoning paste. Put 3 tablespoons of Korean chili pepper flakes, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, half a tablespoon of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of chicken powder, half a tablespoon of tajida, Korean beef stock powder, half a tablespoon of oyster sauce, 2 tablespoons of water, and give it a good mix. If you have someone looking over your shoulder and watching your every move, then just tell them like, this is gonna be so much better after 1 or 2 days in the fridge. Then your family or friends will think you are a Korean master chef. And this is how to show off. While the seasoning paste is stretching its feet in the fridge, let's prep other ingredients. First, chop 200 grams of cabbage into bite-sized pieces. It doesn't matter how you chop it, but not too small or not too thin, because we still want that bit of a bite. Next, potato. Just slice half a potato as thinly as you can. Actually, for 부대찌개, it's not an essential ingredient, but the starch from the potatoes will thicken our stew and make it much tastier, so I highly recommend using it. And then green onion. As always, more green onion, more delicious, so be super generous with this. Trust me, that will never let you down. Now for the protein, slice 200 grams of spam into nice bite-sized pieces. Here, it's better to slice thinner than thicker, because this way, the juice from spam will come out and go into the broth a lot quicker, so you can get a much deeper taste from your broth. And then, for the same reason, cut 3 to 4 sausages into thin slices. Not only will it make the broth tastier, it will make your 부대찌개 look like the one from restaurants. Trust me, your family or friends will say, you must have worked at Korean restaurants. Yeah, that's gonna happen. If they don't, who cares? You still got amazing 부대찌개. This time, bacon. There's nothing much to say about it, so just chop them nicely. That's it. Next, ground beef. Grab a little bit of beef and form it into a circle, like meatballs. For information, some restaurants season their meatballs, but it's gonna be pretty salty because of spam, sausage, and the seasoning paste. So no need to add extra seasoning here, so don't get me wrong, it's not because I'm lazy. Alright, finally, it's time to assemble. In a shallow pot, put all the ingredients one by one, but try to put them in different sections. This little detail will make your food look like the one straight out from the restaurants. And after that, pour the sauce into the center. Lastly, put 2 tablespoons of baked beans and 1 slice of American cheese on top. What? Where's the kimchi? You know what? In Korea, there are many different styles of 부대찌개. And honestly, Claire is not a big fan with kimchi in it, so there's nothing much I can do about it. Listen, if you're gonna get married, this is the reality. And this is how I survive. Now into this beautiful pot, add 3.5 cups of water and bring it to a boil. Once it's bubbling hot, your 부대찌개 is done. For information, if there's a Korean supermarket near your place, get this kind of Korean beef bone stock and mix it with water like a 1:1 ratio. Then it will taste phenomenal, and I'm pretty sure you might think I should open a Korean restaurant. Oh, you will. Alright, our 부대찌개 is ready to go. Let's go to our taste tester.
Claire. Woo! It's like a festival in one pot. There's so many ingredients. Like sausage, spam, potatoes, and most importantly, the green onions. And I love this sizzling sound. I want a little bit of everything. 스팸에 치즈가 싹 녹았어. 먼저 국물부터. Here we go. 오, 기가 막히네. 오. 다양한 재료에서 나오는 이 깊은 맛이 진짜 예술이다. 와, 너무 잘 어울려, 서로서로. 진짜 맛있다. 하필 이 스팸 위에 치즈가 싹 녹아가지고 그 스팸에서 나오는 그 짭조름이랑 치즈의 그 고소함이 어울려져서 너무 맛있다. This time sausage. 라면은 넣어야 되겠네. 부대찌개에 라면이 빠지면 안 되지. 파티를 시작을 해보자. 라면을 가져와라. 라면을 또 여기다 넣는 순간 국물 맛이 확 바뀌잖아. 라면이 국물을 다 흡수하면 안 되니까 물을 조금만 더 추가하자. Just half a cup of water. Mix it around. 국물도 좀 넣고 소시지랑 얘네가 또 빠지면 안 되지. 그러네. 그렇지. 훨씬 더 깊어졌다. 맛있어. 맛있어. 진짜 부대찌개의 꽃은 바로 이 라면인 것 같아. For your information, if you don't have ramen noodles, don't worry about it. You can also use udon noodles, and that's gonna be fantastic too.
Although I showed you a simple recipe, some of you, like college students, still want it to be easier than that. For those of you, I brought this, the 7-minute budae-jjigae. For the super simple version, we're gonna use a little secret weapon here. It's Korean ramen. For this, you will need instant ramen, sausage, spam, baked beans, green onion, and American cheese. Even if you don't have 1 or 2 ingredients, you can still make it, so don't trouble yourself to go grocery shopping and just use what you have in your fridge. First, cut 1 sausage into bite-sized pieces. Actually, you can put as much as you want, but if it's too much, the broth might get too salty, so don't go crazy with this. Next, spam. I'm gonna use only half of it, which is 100 grams. I know some of you are not a big fan of spam, but trust me, that'll be a real game changer, so please give it a shot. You won't regret it. And then green onion. Make sure to use both parts for flavor and color. Now let's add 600 milliliters of water into a pot and put your sausage, spam, ramen packets, 1 tablespoon of ketchup and bring it to a boil. Once it's piping hot, add in the ramen noodles and let it cook for about 4 minutes. For information, if you want budae-jjigae with kimchi in it, then add some kimchi now, but just a little bit. If you put too much, that's kimchi stew, not budae-jjigae. Now let's finish it off with some baked beans, green onions, and half of American cheese. How does it look? It looks absolutely delicious, right? Alright, let's go to our taste tester. Claire?
되게 빨리 했네. I love this presentation. So pretty. I know, it's too pretty. So it's heartbreaking when you mix it, but you gotta do it to fully enjoy the taste. 나는 맨날 이렇게 예쁜 음식을 다 망치는 역할이냐? 예쁜 이 모습은 잠깐 보여주고 섞였어. 이게 치즈가 국물에 잘 녹아야 훨씬 나는 맛있더라고. 크리미해지면서. Let me try the broth first. 맛있다. 맛있다. 아까 건 조금 더 리치했다면 토마토 케첩 덕분인지 약간 밝은 느낌이 나. 그 액시리, 그 약간의 그 새콤한 맛이 좀 맛을 확 끌어주는 것 같아. 이 정도면 합격. Both of them are so great, so I can't decide which one is better. Just try them all. You won't regret it.